Yeah, like £2 or like 30 cents or something. I think that we've discovered the biggest con in the history of the world. So I have to ask you, I know you obviously went on to tertiary education. Do you take a gap year?
Not at all. I wish I did. Mom was like, nope, straight to university, Papa.
Keep that momentum going. Well, of course, it is a very big question. Nikki Bush is now going to help you address that right now. Should you be taking a gap year, and what should you be considering in that discussion?
We're talking about a very interesting subject this morning with our creative parenting expert, Nikki Bush. Now, there's so much pressure for matriculants to register to study, for graduates to get a job, and for those of us in the workforce to keep on working. And sometimes we forget about what can be gained by taking a gap year. Nikki, lovely to have you with us in studio, and I love this topic.
Thanks, you, and so do I, actually. And I think everybody, parents, children, you know, we all at some point need a pause. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that we're not only focusing this on our youngsters, you know, on our students, but it's for the adults as well. So how would you unpack what a gap year really is? So for me, it's doing something out of the ordinary. It's taking a break from the normal routine, and it is moving away from the known, going towards new horizons and looking at life through possibility eyes, opportunity eyes. Because, you know, we get so into a rut when kids are at school, every day is the same, it's like this, and you can only see so far. Exactly the same for adults when you're in the same job for a long time. Your perspective narrows down. And when perspective narrows down, there's lots of opportunity that gets lost. So sometimes we need to give ourselves the opportunity to look at new landscapes, not just in a real sense of, you know, the geography that we're looking at, although I find that helps a lot if you just change where you are geographically. Absolutely. But also the people we're mixing with. You know, when you step out and you go just into a neighboring suburb, let alone overseas, you can actually see life through different lenses. I like that. And that's important because it's refreshing, you know. But gap years shouldn't be a free-for-all. We're talking about having a constructive time, and it doesn't have to be a year. It could be a month, it could be a week, it could be 6 months. And we need to plan these things because they need to be about growth and adventure and preparation for life, for what comes next. Absolutely. So if you have to say the value of a gap year, it really comes down to just broadening your horizons, making you see so much more than you're actually seeing in the moment. Enriching you because you see things from different angles. I remember I was very fortunate to be on an exchange program in my post-matric year. I had never seen South Africa from that perspective, from living outside of South Africa. I came home and completely reset my compass because I was exposed to people who had different life experiences to my own parents. And I came home and I registered to study for something I had not even thought about a year before. And I'd left the country with a real black and white, clear idea of what I was going to do, what I was going to be, came back and turned it on its head. You see, there's so much value to it. I mean, for myself, I took a gap year after matric as well, but I didn't have a plan, you know, per se, to what am I going to do with that gap year. But what it led to was self-discovery. In that year, I could really discover, you know, what my interests are, what I'm really curious about, and that led, you know, to taking the path that I did, which I think is fantastic. So you got to know yourself, more than anything else, and I think that is one of the 5 key X factors for success in the future world of work is knowing yourself really well. Exactly. So what are some of the options, you know, available when we are talking about a gap year? Yes. So there's loads at the moment. If you look at the post-matric space, you can go stooging. And you can do that either locally or in schools overseas, where you go and live at a school, usually the boarding school kind of scenario, where there's a hostel. So you get free board and lodging, and you get paid a salary, which really gives you enough money to go jolling and to travel during the holiday period. It gives you the opportunity to you know, get a handle on how do you deal with people? How do you relate to young people? Would you be good at leading young people, teaching, that kind of thing? Although it doesn't have to be somebody who's specifically looking at teaching. There's exchange programs. There's loads of volunteerism out there. There's summer camps if you can afford to go overseas, obviously. So, and you know, there you go for kind of 6 weeks, and you can go on equestrian ones or water sports ones, or you can go and work with disabled children, very specifically. There are entrepreneurship gap years now.
Sure.
There are leadership gap years. There's personal questing, where you can go and put yourself against the environment and against other people. You can go and learn life skills like basic, you know, electrician, plumbing, building, those kind of skills that you wouldn't get at school.
I love that. Nikki, well, it seems that there's so much options for you to choose from, but it's all about how you look at a gap year. We're going to continue this conversation a little bit later on this morning with our parenting expert, Nikki Bush.